Well, tonight is the final State of the Union address by President Barack Obama. Throughout the day, I have been asked, what would you like to hear during the State of the Union address? And I thought about it, and this is the one statement that if he could say anything that I think we would agree upon and I would really like to hear, is if he got into the rostrum and he said, ladies and gentlemen, as of midnight tonight, I hereby resign the presidency of the United States. Unfortunately, I don't think that is going to happen, and we're going to continue to hear more of the president painting a rosy picture about how his policies have actually been working to make America better. But I think as you go across the landscape of America and you ask people, are you better off today than you were 8 years ago? The answer is going to be a resounding no. The fact is, I'm mad. I'm frustrated. The American people are mad and frustrated because of the failed policies of this administration. But instead of hearing someone tonight say we've gone the wrong direction, we're heading toward a cliff and we must change our direction, I think he's just going to push on the accelerator and go faster. The only thing that I have heard that he may address here tonight is the possibility of closing Guantanamo. Well, that would be right in the same mantra of what he's done so far, as putting his left agenda way far ahead of the safety and security of the American people. Ironically, what is he going to do with the detainees in Guantanamo if he does close that critical base to our national security by the end of his presidency? Because the last week of December, this Congress passed a bill which he signed, that a provision that it would prohibit any detainee from Guantanamo to come to the United States and would prohibit the federal government from building a facility to house them. The president has signed that. But laws really haven't mattered to this president. And so I expect tonight we're just going to hear more of how his policies are working. But the problem is, he told us that his policies toward ISIS were working and they were just a JV team and we didn't need to spend a lot of time focusing on them. And then we saw a massive expansion of ISIS. And then he told us that we had ISIS contained. And then we had the Paris attacks. He then came out on Thanksgiving and said, don't worry, these type of events are isolated to Europe. My policies are working to keep America safe and secure. And then we had San Bernardino. When Congress learned that ISIS was going to expand their outreach and put more terrorists into foreign countries, and they would use our refugee resettlement program to bring terror operatives into the United States, Congress acted to put a pause on the expansion of the refugee resettlement program. The president disagreed and promised that we vet these people. And then just last week, 2 were indicted. 2 Iraqis that came in on the refugee resettlement program were indicted. Our nation is not safe, our nation is not secure, and we must have a reversal of these policies. I'm going to be watching, but I'm going to be taking very close note to what the president says, because in this coming year, we are going to have to be more aggressive in Congress. The president has promised that he had a phone and he had a pen. Well, I believe our objective ought to be to make his veto pen run out of ink. We have to take the same stance he does. When Congress doesn't act the way he wants, he does executive action. It's time for Congress to stand up and quit asking what the president wants and just move our agenda forward, and we've already begun that. Just last week, we sent to his desk a bill that defunded Planned Parenthood and the atrocities that they have conducted in our nation, and also a repeal of Obamacare, which he has vetoed, but on January the 22nd, we're going to have a vote on the House floor to override that veto. I believe our nation's best days are ahead of us, and if we get a vision of where we're going, then we can turn this nation around. God bless you and God bless America.